Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a first impression review of the Rimmel Match Perfection foundation, and what drew me to this foundation is the fact that it is really pale. This isn't their palest shade in terms of their numbering, but it is the palest shade in terms of like swatching. So this is in the shade 081 Fair Ivory, and I don't know if you can tell, but this is incredibly pale. So I hope you don't mind that I have been doing a few first impression reviews on my channel recently. This is just because I've been picking up products that I really want to do a first impression review on. It's not intentional, I'm not trying to spam you guys, but if you do have any other video requests, please leave them in the comment section of this video. Otherwise you can post requests on my Facebook page, which is just Wild Violet YT. Anyway, let's get started. I'm so pleased with this foundation so far because I realised it had a pump. It is quite deceiving when you see it, you think that it's just, you know, a normal tippy bottle, but it does have a really nice pump on there, so I'm super impressed. I picked this up on special. It was roughly about $14. This claims to be a light perfecting radiance foundation, so I'm not sure if it will work really well with my oily skin. I'm just going to pop it on a little palette because I don't want to pop it on the back of my hand. So that's just what it looks like there. As you can see, quite runny. And I'm just going to take my flat top kabuki brush and buff it onto this side of my face, and then we'll be able to see an immediate comparison. So there you have it guys, that's one side of my face done, and I know that it looks really scary, but I actually do love the match. What I do recognise is that it's not like that great at covering up redness, so I would definitely have to use some kind of primer that kind of colour corrects redness. Another thing that I noticed is that a little bit goes a really like long way. You don't have to buff a lot onto your face. I would say the coverage is light, and I also noticed that this has a very heavy fragrance, so if you don't like fragrance and foundation, you're definitely not going to like this. This is probably the most fragrant foundation that I have ever tried. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to buff a little bit more in these areas here where I have a bit of acne scarring, just to see if this foundation is buildable. So I would say that this foundation isn't really buildable at all. The more you put on, kind of the cakier it gets. Alright guys, so I've just zoomed in so hopefully you can kind of see the texture of it a little bit better on my skin. So I'm just going to go through a few things which I've noticed about this foundation. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but it sits into pores really weird and into hair follicles, and it like attaches itself to any dry spots. What I've noticed is that it doesn't seem to want to stick around my nose area here, but it's stuck to like all of my hair on my lip here. Again, the colour is very good, but it's not a very radiant foundation. Like, I know that you guys will be able to see that my skin doesn't look really radiant. In fact, it's incredibly matte, which is a little bit of a surprise. Right, so I've just put on the rest of my makeup and it is now 10:34, so say 10:30, and I have to say that like my powder products went on really well onto the foundation. The foundation is very matte. I ended up highlighting under my eyes with a little bit of concealer, and I also set my face under my eyes and through my T-zone. Applying powder doesn't necessarily make it look more cakey or make it look drier, but it's definitely a very dry matte foundation. Anyway, I'll be back in a few hours to let you know how it's going. Hey guys, so I'm back and it is 2:26. I'm not sure if you can see that, but anyway, and as you can see, I've got a gleam in the centre of my face, which you'll notice happens a lot when I do first impressions. It started feeling really oily at about 3 hours, so it was like 1:30 and I could feel it, but when I looked in the mirror it wasn't this greasy looking. But I could definitely like really feel it on my skin. But apart from that, it hasn't actually transferred as much as I thought. Like, it's really lasted like on the side of my face and all the other areas. So I'm just going to take a blotting sheet and blot my face. I feel like this foundation is definitely got a pink undertone to it, so I've only just noticed that now after wearing it for a little bit, but like my bronzer and highlight and everything has stayed on really well, so I'm really happy with that. And my under eyes look okay. I did pop concealer over the top, so that stayed as well, so that stayed really matte. And yeah, so I'm not sure what else to say about it at this stage because it's only been 4 hours, but I'll come back later this evening and we'll see how it is. Hey guys, so it's now 6:15, so I thought I would do the final check-in. So this means that basically the foundation has been on for nearly 8 hours, or approximately 8 hours, and as you can see, the oil has come back just around my nose, and I did mention at the beginning of this video that the foundation didn't seem to want to sit around those areas, so in future I probably need to add a little bit of concealer in those areas to hide the redness. And I've got like liquid lipstick on my face, so I think that it stayed on okay, not amazingly. It's definitely rubbed off on my chin. So my overall impression of this is that it is an okay foundation. I definitely wouldn't recommend it for dry skin. For oily skin it's a little bit hit and miss, because it does show up dry patches. Like I've got this dry patch here, you might be able to see it better, and it's just been like that all day and really freaks me out. I usually don't get that with any other foundation. I don't know, if you want to go try it out, it could be a good idea, especially if you're very fair, because it's an amazing shade, that's for sure. And it's a shame that they don't carry that shade in their other Rimmel foundations, because then I'd be able to try their other shades. But of course you can go swatch it at Rimmel stands if you are still interested in getting it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful for you, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!